Hey there, boys and girls. Welcome to ZIMM Zim Gaming. My name is Amanda, and today we are going to be learning how to play Rexxar, Champion of the Horde. Yes, he is the newest hero released by Blizzard for Heroes of the Storm. He is a very dynamic, ranged warrior hero, and I've been playing around with him, and I can tell you he is not easy to learn. And hopefully by the end of this video, I will be able to impart some knowledge onto you all. So let's head on over to his ability selection. So the first ability you should notice is your Q ability, which is Spirit Swoop. It does a little bit of damage to the enemy, and it slows them for 30% for 2 seconds. This is going to be your straight up skill shot ability that you'll use often. Your next ability is Misha Charge. This sends Misha charging a short distance, stunning any enemy she touches for 1.25 seconds. Your next ability is Men Pet, which is a straight up heal over time for Misha. On the issue of Misha Charge, remember that the charge is cast from Misha and not Rexxar, so depending on where Misha is standing, it can vastly change the direction of the ability. Your trait is either Misha Call or Misha Attack, which selects whether or not she's going to be hostile or come to you. Unleash the Boars is your first ultimate, which sends out a pack of boars, slowing anybody in a cone in front of Rexxar, and your second ultimate is Bestial Wrath, which is a straight up damage increase for Misha. Let's look at the talent upgrades. So there are two main builds to consider when playing Rexxar. The first build is the Beastmaster build, which focuses on killing creeps and getting bosses. That is the build on the left. And the second build is the Boar build, which focuses on team fighting and fulfilling his warrior role. So if you're going Beastmaster, you're more akin to a specialist hero. If you're going Boar build, you're more akin to a warrior hero. First ability up is Hunter Gatherer. Every single time you pick up a regen glow, both Misha and Rexxar's health regen go up by 1. Next talent at level 4 is Easy Prey. It increases the damage Misha does to minions and mercenaries by 150%, while also reducing the damage that they do to Misha by 50%. At level 7, you have Swooping Hawk, which increases the damage your Spirit Hawk does by 300%, essentially allowing you to clear a single wave every single time you cast it. At level 10, we're going to pick Bestial Wrath to help us pour on damage to pesky bosses and other mercenaries. At level 13, we're grabbing Wildfire Bear to help us put even more damage onto those bosses and mercenaries. At level 16, we're grabbing Feign Death to give Rexxar some utility and also to allow us to control Misha. At level 20, we're upgrading Bestial Wrath to increase its duration and to also give Rexxar a reliable source of healing. You can also select Fury of Kalimdor to increase Rexxar's damage and give Misha slow, or you can select Hardened Shield to give Rexxar some more survivability in team fights, though because this is the Beastmaster build, you really shouldn't have to. Moving on to the Boar build, we're going to once again start with Regen Master to help Rexxar survive longer in team fights. You can also opt for Flare if the enemy team has any stealthers. In fact, I would recommend Flare no matter what, as long as the enemy team has a Nova or Zero tool. You can also, which will give Misha the block ability, although most players have learned to just simply ignore Misha, so that does not have as great of an effect as one might think. At level 4, we are upgrading our Spirit Hawk to increase its duration to 3 seconds and increase the slow amount to 40%. At level 7, we are grabbing the ability which allows Misha to reduce the cooldown of her Misha Charge by 2 seconds every time she does an auto attack. At level 10, we're grabbing Unleash the Boars for all that team fight slowy goodness. At level 13, we are giving Misha the ability to recast charge if she doesn't hit a hero. This isn't so much about missing a hero as it is being able to quickly reposition Misha across a team fight using the double charge. At level 16, we're grabbing Feign Death to take Rexxar out of the fight and force enemies to attack Misha, or simply just to control Misha and keep Rexxar out of harm's way. And at level 20, we're grabbing the upgrade to Unleash the Boars, as this will root enemies into place for 1.5 seconds, which will allow your team to come up with any sort of wombo combo you want to do, or simply just to hold them there while you run away. Again, Fury of Kalimdor is always an excellent choice because that'll give Misha a permanent slow every time she hits somebody, or Hardened Shield if you need to keep Rexxar alive that much longer. Those are the two builds. Let's get on in to the gameplay. If you are going the Beastmaster build, the first level that you need to look out for is level 4, as this is where you get the Easy Prey talent. In lane, you should have positioned yourself near to where one of the bosses are. So for example, we are on Blackheart's Bay and we've chosen top lane. This means that if you're missing from top lane, not too much will be a miss for the enemy team. We're just going to go ahead and saunter in here. All we've got to do with Misha is keep her hitting the boss. We're going to add Rexxar's damage. We'll keep Menpet up on her. And as you can see, I let Misha get stunned, but what you want to do is try to use Call Misha to pull her out of any of those stuns. The last thing you need to look out for is those roots, because at this low of a level, Rexxar can get killed simply by the roots. The last thing is the enemy team, if they played against Rexxar, will notice when you are missing and they will try to interrupt you. If a fair amount of time has gone by, you can just simply saunter back up to the boss. In this case, it took me till level 9 to get back up here. And you can safely solo the boss using the methods above. At level 7, you'll get your upgrade to Spirit Hawk, which will greatly help how quickly you're able to kill the boss, being able to chunk it down every single time you're able to cast that Q. One thing to note about Rexxar is he does have a fairly big model, so it can be extremely difficult to avoid the roots if they hit you at an inopportune time. Likewise, if you're fighting one of the bosses on Sky Temple or on Spider Tomb that uses the tornado, it can be very difficult to keep Rexxar alive if you do not watch your positioning. So be careful, but compared to any other hero, Rexxar should be able to easily solo a boss like we've seen right here, giving your team a huge advantage. The next thing you need to learn about using Rexxar is when to balance the call and attack stances for Misha. Basically, you're going to want to call Misha whenever she gets into danger to pull her back to you without letting her take too much damage. As you can see here, she's getting hit by that tower. And you want her to sit in the aggressive stance pretty much every other time. While she's in the aggressive stance, any target of hers will have red arrows on the ground surrounding the target's model. If you want Misha to sit on a target, but you still want Rexxar to move, you can use the A move ability, or pressing A on the keyboard, left clicking on the ground. This will move Rexxar without deselecting Misha's current target. Learning how these two work together is paramount towards becoming a good Rexxar player, and it simply takes practice. The next piece of advice is the level 7 talent Swooping Hawk, which increases damage by 300% to all minions and mercenaries. Also works against almost all objective mercenaries. This means the spiders in the Spider Shrine map, the Temple Guardians in the Temple map, the Golems in the Golem map, and basically anybody who is summoned by an objective as a minion can be quickly dispatched using this Swooping Hawk ability. Therefore, even if you're doing a boar build, it can be beneficial simply to be able to clear a creep camp or help your allies destroy a high HP objective really quickly. The next piece of advice I have towards playing as Rexxar is to practice, 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 practice. Rexxar is not a hero where you can just jump in and do amazing with. He takes a little bit of getting used to. The way that you control Misha is very foreign at first, but fills in over time. Your abilities will increase greatly just the more time you spend on Rexxar. If you don't spend the requisite amount of time, he's always going to feel sort of as this out of place, not a warrior, odd specialist character. Personally, I do not think that you can compare Rexxar to a character like Leoric or Johanna, as he is not meant to be a straight tank warrior. He's meant to bring a lot of utility and a lot of HP towards the team. Therefore, feel free to pick Rexxar if you feel like you can use him as an off tank, or if you have a Leoric or a Johanna on your team, but don't take Rexxar and expect them to be able to tank the same amount of damage that a Johanna would be, or a Muradin, or even a Diablo would be able to tank. Also, don't forget that Rexxar is extremely squishy on his own, and you do not want people to be able to ignore Misha and go straight for Rexxar. This puts people in a weird position where they're ignoring the person hitting them in the face and they're going straight for you. Rexxar is not very good at dueling, because that means people can just ignore Misha and you lose your ability to position properly. Anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you learned a good deal. Please like, please subscribe to this channel. My name is Zamanda, and this has been Let's Learn Rexxar.